పేషెంట్ల విషయంలో డాక్టర్లు సున్నితంగా వ్యవహరించాలని సూచించారు గవర్నర్ నరసింహన్. చనిపోతాడని తెలిసి కూడా ఐసీయూలో పెట్టొద్దన్నారు. పేషెంట్ వాస్తవ పరిస్థితిని వారి బంధువులకు తెలపాలన్నారు. హైదరాబాద్ లో వైకాన్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ ను ప్రారంభించిన గవర్నర్ డాక్టర్లను ఉద్దేశించి మాట్లాడారు. 3 రోజులు జరగనున్న సదస్సులో నరాలు, వాటి ప్రాధాన్యత, శస్త్రచికిత్సలు, నరాల సంబంధిత వ్యాధులు పెరుగుతూ ఉండడంపై 3 రోజుల పాటు చర్చించనున్నారు డాక్టర్లు.
Handle a patient, the sensitivity that is required, the comfort that is required, the confidence that is required to be put into the patient is, I think, does wonders. In fact, many times more than the medication, it is his words of comfort and the assurance given by the doctors to the patient that probably helps, because the psychological treatment is far more important. In many major, for example, even anything like cancer, I think it is a psychological fight that the patient puts up that takes her through much more than probably the chemotherapy and the radiation many times. So I think please remember this very central relationship of yours. The other thing is that when a patient comes to you, try and see whether you can take a holistic approach to the problem. Because what happens is many times, because of super specialization and micro specialization, if a patient comes to you, look at just that one problem and are not looking at a holistic concept, in which case there might be other problems related to it. So also in terms of, so the diagnosis becomes very, very important. I mean, it's not just a random series of tests that have to be undertaken. Please don't do that, because what's required is a holistic approach and a correct diagnosis, and avoid, to the extent possible, interventions. Because intervention does have its problems, and there's a certain amount of psychological problem also, and rather avoid intervention, and if you can do it by medication or that exercise or the therapy, I would request you to kindly adopt that, rather than going away straight away for a surgery. I recall in my own case, when I had a spinal problem, I was treated at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. I'd gone to Dr. Dave. I still remember P.K. Dave was the director of the institute at that point of time. He was known to be a knife-happy surgeon, which he claimed himself. I didn't know about it. He said, Mr. Narasimhan, I'm a knife-happy surgeon, but I cannot put the knife on your back because it's in such a bad shape that you are not going to recover out of it. And then he warned me, say, if you want, you can take a second opinion from another expert in another part of the country, which I did. And the listening to a patient, that becomes very essential. Because what happens is many times the patient is not even given a patient hearing. You are in a hurry to write out the prescription or whatever it is. So please don't do that. Give the patient a little patient hearing, and you will find that it will probably help him much long. If a patient who is probably definitely going to die and nothing is going to help him, please tell the relatives so. There is no, I quite appreciate that you will have to fight to the last. You cannot give up a patient just like that and say he's going to die. I quite appreciate that, because there's a code of ethics, there's a lot of the legal problems, etc. The problem many times you have to put a patient onto a ventilator sooner than later. But at some point of time, when you think the ventilator is really of no use, please tell the relations of the patient that the ventilator has to be taken off. Probably there are legal problems associated, I don't know that. But I think that honesty of advice will be very essential to a patient, because for the close relations, to see a near and dear one dying is far more difficult than death itself. Because you're seeing the patient dying, but he's not dead, and you don't know what to do. So this sort of an advice, I would be very happy if that could be given.